Welcome to the channel. Today I thought I'd go ahead and work on the idea of fitting the new sports muffler to the Classic 500. So for a start we're going to get rid of this huge torpedo muffler, which in actual fact, seeing this is a Euro 4 bike, the cat sits up in the header pipe area. On this particular muffler, it's a couple of kilos lighter than on a Euro 3 bike, so it sounds a little bit different, and the bike actually performs a little bit different too as far as exhaust note goes. So I'll give it a kick over now and you can have a listen to it. So compared to the Euro 3 bike, it does make a little bit deeper thump, but nothing compared to the 19-inch Shorty Muffler I'm about to put on the bike now. So that's what, if you listen now, that's what we have. In a few minutes time is what we're going to get. To remove the old muffler, it's pretty straightforward. Nut up here on the foot peg, screwdriver, one here at the front, these three here. On your heat shield, just slide the old torpedo muffler off, fit the new sports muffler, tighten her up and you're ready to roll. So I've already taken the heat shield off, and it appears I've already lost one of the Phillip head screws that were attached to the bottom part of it, so that didn't last all that long anyway, so that's one less piece to look after. Okay, we've got everything all off now and everything's under control, and it's just a matter of fitting the new muffler. So all good. So here's a bit of a look at the 19-inch Shorty Muffler. It was purchased from Trojan Motorcycles in Sydney off eBay. I think it was $79 for the muffler, and plus about $10 or $12 postage, so it comes in at $90. I've used these mufflers quite a few times. I find they're really good performance mufflers. They give a really good sound to the bike, and more importantly they give you, seems like 1 or 2 horsepower more in performance, so they really perform well. What I like about them is, apart from they look alright in the bike, if you look at the tip on these mufflers, you can vary the tip by just cutting it a bit and opening up the outlet a bit, and they perform. I think the best I've had them perform is when I opened the tip to 1 inch and 3/4. So I think it's roughly 1.5 now, but if you cut the tip a little bit more and take it to 1 inch and 3/4, they perform better than if they were running it. I have opened to 2 inches on standard, and they don't perform as good as if they're at 1 3/4. So also, if you look at the size of this muffler, and it doesn't weigh very much at all. If you go back over to the factory, and if you look at it, you've also lost a fair few kilos in weight. So if you look at the difference between them, and these mufflers are ready to go, well, naturally you've got your reducer, so it's just a matter of bolt up. You got your bracket, you got rid of that big one, and I'll fit her up to the bike shortly, and you get an idea how it looks on the bike, and they always look good on it, so we'll see how we go there. Back shortly. One thing you do have to be careful on a Euro 4 bike especially, they have a bit of a packing in this area here which falls to pieces once you take the original muffler off, and like in this case it's happened on this bike and it's happened on previous ones, so you also have to run an extra reducer to build it from that smaller diameter up to what the normal Euro 3 diameter would be, and then go up further up into the scale so it mates onto the new pipe and there's a nice tight fit. I've had the reducer pipes or expander pipes here from before, and now I'm back up to where it should be, where the piping system that come with the new muffler may have caused me problems straight off because it's just too big. But lucky for me, wrong one, I've got the correct bit there. In that case, I'll be ready to roll. This gets me a tight fit now back inside this 19-inch Shorty Muffler chamber. So it's a good tight fit. It will be once I tighten her up. You can tell now I've got the desired fit for the muffler on it. It'll be tight, and then once I tighten her up with the bracket here, things will be nice and tight. But this is only a problem you'll find on a Euro 4 one, and probably if you got back to a Royal Enfield dealership, you could get that wraparound bandage where both header pipe and muffler meet as a factory option, and this one just disintegrated and fell apart anyway, but you'd probably be able to get that bandage as an option and wrap that back around and get it back up to correct size. So, but if you've got a Euro 3 bike, those reducer pipes will just fit straight on because the header pipe runs the same pipe, or the same size right all the way through, and I've had it on numerous bikes before, no trouble whatsoever. But on the Euro 4, the pipe reduces from that header onto the muffler, and it creates a bit of a drama there. Another thing I'll point out, the Euro 4 foot pegs, see that notch hole on the frame? If you look at the peg itself, it's got a pin on it, comes into there and locks in. So they're a bit different to what's on the previous model. The other ones you can just push them in and everything's right, but these ones here lock in and they're a little bit more fiddly to get back on. Now it mightn't look too pretty, but I can assure you it does work. So if you look at this top bracket, it goes from your muffler, so it'll come back a bit, from your muffler. So you've got your bottom bracket on your muffler, top bracket attaches to the frame, and you'll see here I've got a bit of heavy duty rubber. So if you drill a hole through that rubber, attach it to your top bracket, this is going to stop a fair bit of vibration coming from this 19-inch Shorty being attached to the frame, because for some reason these once you put a small muffler on one of these bikes and attach it, this bracket isn't what you call a very thick one, and it gets a fair bit of flex in that on it, and it vibrates a bit and it throws a little bit more extra vibration through the bike. So I've found that sometimes I'll use rubber to isolate it there, sometimes down on the bottom mount, and you might have to adjust it a couple of times and tighten it, but it does reduce the vibration factor, and then after you tighten it a couple of times it'll get to a point where it locks in pretty well, works well, and you won't have to worry about adjusting it anymore after that, but you will keep an eye on it. So that's a bit of a tip for you to think about, and as a tip it works well. Okay, that's it on the bike now, it's already fitted. I think it looks fairly sporty on the bike. Everything looks good. Got a small heat shield there that I can fit to it later on, but at this stage that's not important. I'm running a bit pressed for time now, so all's good. I think we might start it up and see how it sounds. It's always, proof is always in the pudding, as they say. Kick her over. Oh well, what do you reckon, guys? Doesn't even sound like the same bike, does it? That's one good thump. I think it's pretty hard to beat that for $80 or $90 posted. And you might have heard mention the other videos, when you get out on the road this thing really bangs. be able to see the bike moving along. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed that. I haven't got time to take it for a test run today because I've got to go head out to work, so that's the fitting of it. Maybe a test run tomorrow. So we'll end up with this. I can already feel it's got more power because you can see the bike sliding along when I hit it. Anyway, thanks for tuning in. Hope you enjoyed it.